What's up, everybody? This is BakaBites. I'm Frankfurter. That is Magicallyaverage. And today, we got our boy back. Today, we're going to have kind of potentially a longer episode where we've got a lot to get through since you were gone. But basically, you're going to talk about your trip real quick, just for where you've been for the last 2 weeks, what you've been doing. And then we are going to go into our kind of season thoughts on the winter 2026 season, go through and review our favorite shows and whatnot. And then if we have time, which again, we're going to make this an extended episode, we are going to go over the top first five categories of the Crunchyroll Awards, in which on a previous episode we had predicted what was going to be there and what we thought will win. Granted, we don't know what the winners are now, but at least we can compare how close we were with what is actually nominated. So without further ado, good to have you back, buddy. How was your trip?
Good. It was kind of a whirlwind, but it was good. I'm not gonna talk much about it, honestly. Just mainly because, it was chaotic, unexpected, whirlwind of a trip. The one thing I'll talk about mainly is just gonna be Anime Japan, because that was the first thing we did when we were there.
Yeah.
Is we landed on Friday, and then Anime Japan was Saturday and Sunday. So we got right into doing stuff. No time to recoup.
No time for jet lag.
Not at all. But yeah, Anime Japan was fun. It was not like many of the anime conventions here, though. So the closest one would be AX.
Okay. So it was more corporate feel than it was any kind of fan art, etc., like fan run things.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's almost exclusively. Corporate run sounds like kind of
negative.
Yeah, a little bit. It also sounds like a neo-futuristic type capitalistic society, you know?
That's fair.
But you are correct in that it's not fan run, right? So there's no when a lot of people think of anime conventions domestically, they think there's Artist Alley and there's fan panels and there's all these after hours stuff that goes on, like dance parties and whatnot. No. Anime Japan is run very similar to AX in that you're going there to get a chance, which is, I'm going to make sure I repeat that, a chance to see a sneak peek of upcoming series and just get a bunch of free stuff. Every booth you go to is just handing out tote bags. I've got so many of these just big ass fucking tote bags of stuff.
Also, love smoking behind the supermarket with you.
Yeah, and they're all. Yeah, this is the Ramparts of Ice, I think, which is the other series that the mangaka of You and I Are Polar Opposites wrote, which
okay.
One of my new friends made a very funny comment to me on that manga.
Yeah, I've been seeing videos where people are showing people from You and I Are Polar Opposites are in that show, and that shows people are in You and I Are Polar Opposites, and it's oh, that's neat.
Yeah. The crossover is funny. No, that wasn't what I was gonna even comment on. They made the assessment that this mangaka might end up ruling all of 2026 because You and I just aired. Ramparts is airing next. You and I is going to be airing again in summer, and Ramparts is already yes, July. And Jesus. Ramparts, I believe, is already confirmed either a second core or second season for fall. So this mangaka will literally have an entire year's worth of anime, of romance anime. Which I was like,
Jesus.
Good for them, you know?
No kidding.
But overall, Anime Japan was a very, very cool experience. Mainly because it did feel like you were kind of at the ground floor of all of the new series coming out. The merchandising was really cool, albeit surprisingly limited. They had exclusive Anime Japan like acrylics and pins and all that stuff that you could get, but it was more the studio booths that had all the really cool stuff. Like Mappa had awesome stuff. I think Toho had some things you could get to. There were a lot of like interactive booths, like Steel Ball Run had a booth there, and there was the
Yeah, I
Mappa.
saw those cardboard cutouts of those horses.
Yeah, like Mappa had one too. One Piece had one. There was a big Demon Slayer one. There was a walkthrough of they called it. It was weird. Like I can't remember what studio it was. Oh no. But they did like this weird fantasy world collab where they were like,
Huh.
I don't know why, but it was like ReZero, Oshinoko, Alia sometimes hides her feelings in Russian, and a couple other series. Like they had a big walkthrough, but it was like in this fantasy world. So they were all dressed in different outfits and stuff. And I'm like, it's weird that you wouldn't just show the series as is. Like they had to also put a spin on it as if it was like this random pop up, you know? But
Yeah.
but no, overall it was a lot of fun. Again, very much in line with AX, less so other, large conventions like NYC or Momo or anything like that. The one annoying thing, which it's understandable, it's just how everything's normally run in Japan, is that if you want to get sneak previews of stuff, you have to enter a lottery.
Mhm.
And it's not a guarantee that you're going to get it. I think each day there was 4 stages, and each stage probably had 7 to 8 presentations each day. So quick math off the top of my head, there was probably over 60 different presentations throughout the course of the 2 days. And I say
man.
presentations, it's like, sneak previews, they bring out the cast members or the
Yeah.
director or whomever, and they'll show you like the opening sequence or the first handful of minutes or an extended trailer of the new series, whatever the case is. So we got to pick 5 series, like 5 performances that we wanted to go see.
Yeah.
And we got 3 of them, which I felt was pretty lucky. So we got to see a first glimpse at the opening for Witch Hat Atelier, which I thought was cool. So I was like, haha, they didn't show it in the first episode. You had to watch the second episode. And I already knew what the intro was. Losers.
Oh, I did too. They showed the first 2 episodes at that Crunchyroll Awards.
Yeah.
Or Crunchyroll night.
No,
But anyways,
I know. And then it was the otaku one. Like a gal can't be nice to an otaku. We saw the intro to that.
I watched that first episode. That was yeah, we'll talk about that next week.
Yeah. And then there was a Magical Girl one that's airing, man. But it's like it's a continuation series, or like it's like one massive franchise, I would say, of like this one particular series. It's like Puella Magica, something like that. I can't remember.
Yeah, it's Madoka Magica.
No.
Magica.
I'm sorry. Not I said Madoka Magica. No, it's not that. It's something else. It'll come to me eventually. But we saw that and it was cute, but I'm like, it's not really my cup of tea, but it's fine. But it was cool because each one had a different MC. There was like a comedy duo that came out and MC'd one, which I thought was fun. There was just like one of the like regular MCs for the entire Anime Japan convention was there, and then there was a couple other MCs that were nice and interactive too. But no, it was fun. It was cool. It was a cool experience. And a good way to start off the vacation.
A lot of new
because
friends.
Yeah, we did.
Making me jealous with all your group texts and everything.
Yeah, we're not gonna name drop or do anything like that. But
no, I wasn't gonna out you like that.
The interactions that took place at Anime Japan led to the rest of our trip taking a complete derailment in a positive way. Again, it was still entirely, a great trip, but wholly unexpected for what happened. But it was still a blast nonetheless. So yeah,
hell yeah. And your Magical Girl show was either one of a few things. Magical Sisters Luluto.
That was that one.
Was that
yes, it? Luluto Lily. I was like, it was some word that I could not remember because it was a bunch of syllables. But
also, your studio you could not think of was Doga Kobo.
Definitely wasn't
because
them.
they are. Oh, because they are in charge of Oshinoko, and Alia sometimes hides her feelings in Russia,
It was
and amongst other things.
yeah, it was definitely like a larger booth. I don't know if it was like one of the streaming
Well,
platforms there or one of the publication studios or production studios or something else. But yeah, it wasn't Dogakoba. I know that for sure because this booth was
oh, okay.
massive.
It was just I looked up who was the
Yeah.
production office for Oshinoko, and it just so happened to coincide with a few other shows, so I just assumed.
Yeah, it was something big. But yeah, it they were everywhere. Like there was no way. Like what was this one? The one I
Nice.
showed was TBS. Like
Oh,
they were there too. Like the Tokyo
Tokyo
broadcast.
Broadcast Station.
Yep.
Yeah.
They were there. Like again, I have so many bags and so many like the bag I showed has like the
Come back
first
to me, sir. I can barely hear you.
it's like the first day of school amount of like
My God.
this like
Clear
where they're like
files and
every
bags.
yeah, where every teacher's like, here's 30 pounds of paper for the welcome to freshman year of high school. Yeah. It's a lot.
Syllabus day.
Yeah, thank you. But it's like all stuff where I'm like, I don't know, I don't want to throw it out. There's a lot of cool stuff.
Dude, I
got
have
fucking,
that feeling too. It's like whenever we go to fucking like all these anime conventions, we get like tote bags and like fans like that and other, accoutrement, we'll just call it.
Yeah.
It's like I don't want to throw it out, but what the fuck am I gonna do with it?
That's kind of
I don't know.
That's the problem I have too, because like there's a lot of cool things in here. What's something else cool that they were just like handing out like little mini manga volumes of stuff too, which I thought was cool. Obviously can't read it, it's all in Japanese.
Yeah, I found a couple of those from AX in my fanny pack right before I went to Japan myself earlier this year. I was like, I'm never gonna read these. I don't know what to do with these. I'm just gonna.
These little like poster things, like this is for the season 3 of 100 Girlfriends. But it's like
you can
I'm like
throw
I'm
that
not
on like your garage fridge.
Yeah, exactly. You're like because I'm not gonna like frame it because like the back is just an ad, right? And like the front's still kind of an ad too. So I'm like what do I do with it? But again, yeah, to your point, I'm like I can't pull myself to throw it away. It's still neat, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, and
I
then
get it.
I'll make one final comment too as I'm looking through this, and that is that I certainly don't understand it. I'm sure people will chime in and be like, "It's got a purpose." But I'm like, great. I don't understand it. At least in today's society, we're, being in North America, clear files, man. They fucking love clear files.
That's because everything's still done in like paperwork.
No,
like physical paperwork in
know.
Japan. Like, that's the only reason why.
I know. I get that. Like that's what I mean. I'm like, it doesn't make sense here. So like when I have a bunch of clear files, I'm like, what do I do with them? Like I can take them to work.
You have
to
go to like
be a weirdo.
I was gonna say no for whenever you have like if you ever have a job interview again, you can just stick them in.
Yeah, whip out my Ascendance of a Bookworm one that I have, or like they're cool. It's funny. I know I sound like I'm ragging on them. I'm really not. I do like them. They're
really
cool.
It's just there's no point for them out here.
It's like you'd almost want to store. It sounds dumb. You'd almost want to store them in like one of those accordion files,
Yeah.
So like just like because otherwise, like the only one I have that I think is I didn't realize it at the time, and I was like, oh, it's a clear file. I have a Black Lagoon one, but it was like special for whenever either the movie first aired or something. So I have that like on my wall. It's actually right. I think the video is picking it up. Maybe.
Oh, I mean, I can see it personally.
It's off in the distance.
I can see.
Yeah. But yeah, like I'm like, what do I do with the rest of these? But I'll find something to do with them.
You brought up like the side tangent before we go into winter 2026.
Yeah.
What you could do, and you brought it up yourself, they belong in an accordion file. Just make them into an accordion file. Just melt the edges together and just make an accordion file of clear files.
Dude, me saying store them in an accordion file, my brain was already like, you're gonna drag your happy ass out and find an accordion file somewhere, and then you're over here like, if you just melt the corners, design, like form them, fuse them together, make the accordion file. I'm like, no, God no. No, I'll find
Speaking
I'll
of,
find a use for them. Though maybe what I'll do is if I accumulate enough of them over the years, the entire guest room from floor to ceiling will just be those on the wall, just to terrify whoever ends up staying in our guest room.
oh god, yeah, no, you could do that. Speaking of terrifying, it's time to get in to the winter 2026 anime season. We've watched a ton of shows. I think I don't remember my final count. It was 15. I
It was
had
like
15 shows that I got through fully.
mine was at 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.5.
Yes.
So that
And
works.
I'm going to blast through a few of these just because there's some on my list that you did not watch for sure. And there's like at least one, two. There's two on your list that I did not. Three. Yeah, there's 3
We'll
on your
figure it
list that
out.
I did not
We'll
watch.
figure it out.
We'll figure it out. But anyways, like always, we're gonna start from the bottom of our list and make our way to the top. So all my bottom tier ones are the ones that you did not watch. So we're just gonna get through them.
Shocking to no
That-
one.
Shocking to no one. We got two 4 out of 10s, and I know we have a rubric. If you go to one of our past review episodes, you can hear what our rubric is about of what of 1 means, what a 10 means, and everything in between. But I've got 2 4s this season. The first one is Dead Account. I watched this. My notes here were they built a really cool premise around a really good villain, and then built the most unlikable bunch of fucks you'd ever seen. I get that that's the point of the characters in this story and in this world, but it's a bad idea on paper as it is in actuality. Like it was just awful. Like they basically just took like the people who would just like fucking bait you online to get you so mad, like rage baiters, and that is every single fucking character in this show.
Ugh.
Literally, that is
It's-
every character in this show. It was awful. It was bad.
It's
It
so
was
funny
just
the way you
bad.
described it too, because it was my first thought was, wow, it sounds like Togenanki. Like make
No,
it
at least
decent enough.
Togenanki- They like Togenanki, like they weren't self-aware that they were like rage baiters. This show, they are self-aware. They're
Well,
like, yeah, I know I'm a rage baiter. It's just like, fucking what, you piece of shit. Like just like it was.
more
Again,
talk.
I watched this dub. It was on in the background, but God, this was awful. This was just a bad
Yeah.
show.
More
And
speaking
again,
from
the only
like
reason
cool
I brought
villain,
it up to a
but-
4. What?
more speaking from the standpoint of like cool villain main characters that you really just want to shut up. But
Yeah, like the only reason I brought it up from a 4 from a 3 is that like the premise of having like dead like social media accounts come back as like spirits or ghosts is really cool. And the villain that they introduce, like the main villain, is actually very well written and very, very good. And then everything else about the fucking show is awful.
Mm.
So that's the only saving grace there. But yeah, so there's that. And the other 4 I have is there was a cute girl in the heroes party, so I tried confessing to her.
I warned you, man. You had it.
Oh, I
like,
know.
'cause what was your first episode ranking? It was like 6.5 or 7, I think.
No, it was a solid 7. I said this is
Oh.
a dumb show, but I love it regardless. This is the type of stupid trash I can get behind.
It dropped
Also
by
helps that the
3
characters are
full
actually fun.
points. 3
Yeah,
full
so here are my
points.
3
Oh
full
my
fucking points.
God.
This is probably the biggest dip.
Ooh.
No, this is for sure the biggest dip. I also did not have an initial ranking for Dead Account. I just picked it up mid-season
Which
because I was
real
caught up
quick
with
too.
dubs.
Dead Account was advertised heavily at
Yes.
Anime Japan.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, yeah. I saw
That's
a
unfortunate,
couple of
'cause it
signs and
was-
stuff. I was like, oh, this is a bold one, guys.
It
Same with
was
Togenanki.
awful.
Togenanki had its own stage. Sorry, I'm just like remembering things as
To
I
be fair, like at this point, I'd rather watch Togenanki again over that piece of
It's-
shit. Like,
it's-
yeah.
I don't know, man. I'd rather not have to watch either, and I didn't.
I'm
So
trying to-
you know,
I'm trying to find where my freaking Togenanki.
no.
Analysis
We're not
was-
going back to
anyways.
Togenanki.
No, we're not.
Move
We're
on.
not. Anyways, there was a cute girl in the heroes party. My notes here were what could have been a really good dumb show was plagued by pacing issues, lazy animation, and a lack of direction. As soon as they introduce what could be the start of a new arc or a future arc, like they tease something, it's just quickly abandoned, and it's for like another like, hey, here's what we're up to today. I did end up reading some of the manga just to see if the show was just adapted poorly, like that the pacing was just bad.
Mhm.
I think the manga's even worse.
Oh, God.
Unfortunately. it was just bad. It was just real fucking bad.
That's unfortunate.
It was just, yeah, like, again, I think that they introduce really cool characters. It's a nice idea as an isekai that is just like, hey, this guy came back as a demon rather than like the hero or the hero's party or,
Mhm.
something like that. It's like, no, he came back as a demon. Like that's pretty neat. I don't think I've seen that one before. Potentially, I don't know. I probably have. Um so it was like, great. That's, bonus points for creativity there. But yeah, it was mm, not great. Moving on. I have 1 5 on my list. I gave it to Roll Over and Die. Um,
God.
I actually, honestly, enjoyed this a lot more than I thought, even though it is a 5. Um, my notes here are, honestly, I was hoping for more. The animation is a tad lazy, but the story and world is the highlight. Like the story and the world building around it is actually very good.
Mhm.
I just wish that they would show off more because, like, the first episode, they showed that, hey, your main character got sold into slavery from like 2 party members of the heroes party. Like, she was part of the heroes party. She got sold into slavery by 2 of the other members, and they show glimpses of the heroes party here and there. One of them does end up quitting and becomes like a friend. Like, is like, I didn't know you were sold into slavery. I'm so sorry. And instead of like contacting the other members of the party, they're just like, hey, let's just team up and be adventurers. It's just like, I really wish that there was more of just like, hey, go back to your party and be like, what the fuck, dude? Because like 2 out of the 6 other people were there, like, did like 4 other people didn't know that you disappeared, or 3 or 4, whatever it is. It's just like, I really wish that they had half a brain to be like, hey, wait, if you didn't know that I got sold into slavery, then the other people probably didn't know. It's just like, it, yeah. So they just kept like, I really wish we saw more of that, but they introduce a good, solid world and, you know, world building. It just, there was a lot of negative to it, though, of like the animation being bad and just other pacing issues that I feel like could have gone quicker or could have gone slower that they just didn't handle correctly, in my opinion. But to each their own. And then I still got a couple more. But do you have any that is in within this range, like a 5 to 6 range?
Yeah, I have a
Okay.
5, a clear 5.
Okay.
Honestly, it probably could be lower. Uh,
Oh.
Isekai. Well, it was Isekai Worker. The world's
Mm.
books rely on the bean counter.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
Not one I picked on my own. This was a series that my wife had read. It's a BL series. I don't know. I guess there's discourse in the anime BL community or manga BL community about this series in particular because I guess the anime is quite different in terms of their relationship from the manga, but I digress. It was not great. I'll be I'll be honest. Um the premise is very odd. Basically, there's a society where they have to every so often pull a human from our realm into their realm to help dispel this poisonous miasma that keeps coming back. And it's because a particular human woman, it's always a woman, is
Classic.
has magical qualities about them that they're able to search for, and then they're like, it's her, get her from this timeline, and they suck her in through a transport hole, and then she's in this new society. That's literally what happens. This time around, though, the woman is like yelling for help, and so our main character, like being a nice person and not just ignoring the screams, goes, I'll help, and tries to, and then gets transported in. And they're like, who are you? You're not supposed to be here. Guards. And he gets taken away, and they're like, oh, actually, whoops, sorry, our bad. We didn't mean to come with you. Basically, you can just stay here for free if you want. You don't have to do anything. We'll just let you stay here and, stay in our castle and live rent free, basically. And you'd think like any normal person would be like, hell yeah, if might as well make the best of this shitty situation. My bro
Yep.
goes, no, I was a a downtrodden businessman in Tokyo before I got transported, and by God, I'm gonna be that same person, but in a different realm.
Oof.
Never loses the bags under his eyes. Works almost I would assume harder in this world than he did in his previous life in the other world, in his actual world. Like everything about it was just like confusing. The economy of it makes no sense because they make a really big point to talk about like the society and how the economy works and like why this costs so much, and it's important that he's an accountant because he's helping to balance the books and find all of the holes and
Oh,
leakages
I'm sure they
of the
found
funds.
holes.
Oh yeah, and he did. He did. Very first episode, in fact.
I heard about
And
that. Yeah.
if you're wondering, if you're like, wow, you're talking about a lot of stuff and not very much BL stuff, don't worry. One of the captains who looks like he's in his 30s but is 19 or 20, I don't know. He's like, hey, my young little twink, you can't handle the magic of this realm. I need to imbue you with some of my magic. Easiest way, I need to enter you.
Yeah, I was
And
like, wait,
our
where did I hear this from before? And I realized, oh yeah, you called me after the first episode and was like, I watched this. Now you
legit.
need to hear about it.
Well, and the the crazy thing is that a normal person would be like, I want to question this a little bit more because this seems odd. In my albeit very limited time in this world, I've not encountered this yet, nor have I heard of this happening. And she doesn't have to have this happen, this new princess that I transported with. So why is it just me? Why must I be entered by another man? Our dude just goes, sure. Okay. Doesn't question it, doesn't this is gonna sound bad of me to like to phrase it this way. He doesn't like fight back even. He just kind of like is like, well, I might as well because take his word at face value. If my
Well, this is life
magicule
now.
levels are so low that I can't handle being in this world, I might as well have him penetrate me whenever possible to help get me acclimated. That was like literally that's the rationale. All of it,
Golly.
and like I had to immediately be like, that is frustrating in itself. The loopholes they have to jump through to be like, no, don't worry, this makes sense. But like the story is really piss poor, if I'm being honest. It's got very little to do with him being an accountant. It just shows him working tirelessly to help this economy work slightly better than before. I don't know.
Yeah.
The dynamics of all the different characters are a little annoying. Like there's some that are fun and enjoyable, but like the rest of it as a whole, like when it's all working together, just doesn't do it. There's like one mystery towards the end, and it's like, ooh, what is the church doing? And it's like, I don't really fucking care, man. Like it's hard to, like,
Yeah.
why does a kingdom that theoretically should be extremely wealthy because everyone seems to be working and doing something, why does it cost $1 billion to go on an expedition?
A billion?
It
That's a made up number.
it cost
You can't fool me.
it cost an ass ton apparently to go look at this tree and go, yep, that tree's got poison miasma on it, and then walk back. Legit. They're like, this one's gonna cost a lot of money, and I'm like, why? Whatever. Anyway,
Golly.
5
5 out of 10.
out of 10.
I do have one 6 out of 10, so I'm just going to jump into it real quick.
Yeah.
Jack of all trades, party of none. My guess on episode 1 was spot on. However, I wish they would have focused a tad more on the old party in the back half of the show, or at least shown off he had one sympathizer in the old party, so I wish that they were like that character was given a little bit more attention overall. But overall, fun season. It was a fine show bordering good. But yeah, my first episode analysis was it's another, oh, I've been kicked from the party, now I'll do my own thing, and the old party will probably be in shambles. And that's exactly what happened. So yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed my time with it. If it gets a second season and it's dubbed, yeah, I'll watch the second season dubbed. Because I mean, the first season got dubbed as well, so
Mhm.
yeah, I enjoyed it, but it wasn't like, oh my god, you need to go watch this. It was good. It was fine. So
Okay.
yeah. And then I've got into my sevens next,
Yeah, I mean
and
most of mine because I watched again. I'm very particular. The rest of mine will
yes.
probably be sevens and higher.
Okay, so I've got two sevens that are not on your list.
Okay.
So I'm just going to go through them and then you can go through yours. So I've got Kaya-chan Isn't Scary. I said this is a really good creepy show. It introduced a great cast of characters with intriguing backstories. I do wish that they released this during the fall season, so it was during spooky season. But other
Yeah.
than that, no. Like it was a good creepy show. I feel like it's very hard to make like an incredible, oh my god, this is mind blowing, like scary show. But like as scary shows go, like this was good. This was creepy, and whenever you're dealing with ghosts and kids and creepy stuff, like kids make it creepier. So yeah, no, it was good.
Oh yeah, no, kids are
Solid
creepy.
7 out of 10. Kids do be creepy. And then my other seven is Tune Into the Midnight Heart. I really enjoyed this little harem rom com. There was minimal fan service, which I really appreciated, and a lot of good times. I enjoyed the fact of the pacing for the show, that they would spend an episode or two on each, like on an individual girl and like their progress of whatever field that they were going into,
Hmm.
and then they would move on to the next one, give an episode or two to them, and then so on and so forth, just rinse and repeat throughout the whole season. um but yeah, no, I really really enjoyed the fact that they didn't overtly spend too much time on one specific person. But I do want to read more of this. I know we're going to get more sometime in the future. I don't know if it's this year or next or whenever. I know that a season 2 has gotten announced though,
Yeah.
so I am looking forward to it. But I do want to read this one because I think it'll be a better read than it probably translates to anime. But
That's kind
it
of the
was really
impression.
good.
That's the impression I got after the first episode. But it's good to know that it progresses well enough, though.
Yeah, it is solid. I mean, granted, we are nowhere close by the end of season 1 of learning who the hell
No.
the podcaster was, but yeah, solid start to a new rom-com series. So those were my sevens. I will let you discuss yours.
Yeah, I mean, my only seven, because I feel like everything else I enjoyed much more than what a seven would be. Um, I know this is going to be controversial. I have Tamon's B side as a seven.
Okay.
I thought it was fine. I think the main character is extremely frustrating. Like I understand the idea that you don't want to establish relations with a idol or someone you idolize, let alone even like a friendship, because it could ruin your perspective on them and kind of sully your image of them moving forward when you create that sort of bond. I understand that. However, the flip flop back and forth of like, oh, I have feelings, but no, I shouldn't. But I have feelings, but no, I shouldn't. But I have feelings, but no. I'm like, at the last episode, as my wife and I were watching it, I was like, she's so frustrating, and she's like, why? And I'm like I need you to at least establish or make me feel like something is progressing one way or another. I can't have it be the idol that's doing all of that work. Like, there's got to be some reciprocal, like, back and forth. It can't just be like one guy being like, hey, I'm dropping a lot of hints, you know,
Yeah.
and not in like a very subtle way. It's somewhat obvious, and you're clearly picking up on it and reacting in such a way, but then going, but I can't, but I want to, but I can't, but I want to, but I can't. I'm like, whew, very annoying.
Make up your fucking mind.
Yeah. um and there was 13 episodes, but the 12th episode, because I forgot
Oh
there was
wow.
13. Yeah, the 12th episode they leave off on like this cliffhanger, and I was like, wow, what a way to end the season one. And then I was like, oh wait, nope, there's another episode. We're good. But even like the ending of of episode 13 that wraps up season one was just sort of like mild. It didn't really leave me with a lot to be like excited for if I was going into a season two even. So, but it was fine enough, I'll say. Like, it's an interesting take on like the idol scene. All of the idols have, again, these alternative personalities. It's not just our main character Tamon. Like each one has
Yeah.
their own very, very stark personality difference from their on-screen persona to their real-life persona, which is enjoyable. But yeah, the love and romance side was aggravating to me. So it was a 7.
Fair enough. Um, I really only have a couple eights to go over because I mean I have a like an 8.5, but uh yeah, I really only have a couple other than the fact that I talked about Kaguya-sama in our first episode
Yeah,
go through.
because
That
that was
I'm not
already
really going to talk about that
finished.
again,
Yeah, yep.
but yeah. So my two eights, and I have a feeling that you're going to be here with me. My Hero Academia Vigilante season 2,
Okay.
and then Jujutsu Kaisen.
Okay. Yeah.
So My Hero, my notes are here for Vigilante season 2. Great second season, teeing up a finale or final season that is sure to impress. Like honestly, my thoughts on the first season were that I was not necessarily blown away, but I was very happy with the adaptation for the fact that some side stories or some side series like this don't usually get the love and affection that the main series do.
Yeah.
And I really appreciated that season 1 did. And so the fact that they continued that into season 2 with, I would say a little bit of a lesser story wise, like overarching story. Like they had some really good like individual arcs, but as a whole, I feel like it was fine. They do introduce like the main, I guess, antagonists out, for this side series
Mm-hmm.
in this season, but at the same time, like I don't think he's the best villain of all time.
No.
But
I was like,
yeah, no,
even reading it, it was like, eh.
yeah, but like it's a solid season. It's a solid like I really like that this adaptation. They gave it the love and care that I really hoped that they would.
Yeah.
Especially because I really do like, again, I'm not one of those crazy My Hero fans, but I do really enjoy My Hero Academia. It's really what got me back into anime in a real way. Like I got back into anime with a few other shows, but like My Hero was like the one that was just like, okay, yeah, if this is like the quality that we're getting now, like I'm talking about My Hero season 1. Like if
Oh
we're
yeah, yeah, yeah.
if we're getting
No.
that quality, then yeah, I'm gonna watch some more anime.
Uh,
But
right there with you.
yeah, and then Jujutsu Kaisen, the Culling Game Part 1. I the way that you and many others described this arc, I was expecting a lot worse. But it really wasn't as bad as I anticipated. Like,
No.
I would say that they are taking their time with this arc, which is fine. It's not necessarily a huge issue, but like, it's oh no, it is a full season. It's not even 11 episodes. It's just weird that they decided that like, hey, we're only going to put out part of this arc. We're not going to do a 2 core. We're not going to do like, they full ass Dan to Dan this, in which they're like, "Hey, we're just gonna end right here
Yeah.
on this cliffhanger and just say bye for now." And it's just like,
Yep.
what? So like again, I was expecting the worst, so I'm pleasantly surprised by this because of how bad everybody talked about what this season is going to be.
Well,
So pleasantly surprised is how I'm going to put it
I guess
for this.
I probably did an injustice in how I described it, but I mean my assessment, because I'll just go into my ranking, is probably like a 7.5 or an 8 for this season as well. And when I say like people are gonna hate the culling game for the reason that I like it the most, it's basically because the best parts of JJK, and you can come at me if you want. I've read the entire series as well, so like I know what happens and I understand the writing of Gege, and I'm like it's it's fine.
You understand?
Barely. Um, the most enjoyable pieces of JJK is the fighting. Like that's purely it. It's the
I don't
fighting.
think that's a controversial take. I feel like that's a majority of why people like this series is they're like pretty colors, wow whoosh, wow woo,
I'm not even
bing,
talking about
bang,
the pretty
boom,
colors.
wow.
I'm talking about like just the fighting, like two characters with unique abilities fighting each other. Like that was from the beginning. That's like all right, cool. This is what I want to see. I don't care about knowing the intricacies of the wicker basket domain, the simple domain. I don't care about the intricacies of the power system. I really don't care about Kenjaku and how the culling game came to be and the incarnation of certain sorcerers again. Like I it's cool. It adds another fun layer to what's happening. You could have told me that this fuck was just born 10 seconds ago and due to the, I don't know, the negative cursed energy in there matured within the span of 5 seconds and became an all-powerful sorcerer. And I'd been like, cool. There's a fucking cockroach in this.
There's a cockroach tornado.
Yeah.
There's a cockroach
I'm like,
tornado. It's wonderful.
I don't need to know where it came from. I don't need to understand the vast history of the cockroach curse, okay? All I need to know is that it's fighting Okotsu, and that's it. That's all I need to know.
I'm really excited for whenever you read or watch Ghost Fixers, which is the follow-up series of the
I know.
Yeah, of Summertime Rendering.
It's just
I can't wait for you to read that because I feel like that to me is JJK to you. It's just like battles are great, but what the fuck is all this power system going on here?
like there's parts where I'm like, cool. I guess I should explain too. Like I like the backstory when it's like well woven into the storyline. Like the lawyer Higuruma, right? I think that's his name. His backstory is cool. Like I loved understanding like how he got his powers, right? And what kind of how it manifested. Like that was cool. It was an interesting take, right?
Yeah.
Scorpion-haired girl. I'm glad we didn't get a backstory for her because I was like, she's pointless. Great, cool. I'm glad we avoided that, right? You know, the receipt dude. A little bit extra time for him, but he was funny enough. Reggie, right? It was funny enough. It's fine. Whatever. I don't need backstory though. You know, it's cool. That's why I like this season. Is because it's like the focus is here's cool fights. This is clearly what it makes this series
dude
great.
Is strong. Other dude is strong. Kiss.
Yeah, but you add layers to it. Like, oh, there's a comedian guy who, no joke, rivals Gojo in terms of power level. Like, he's hilarious. That's a fun thing, right? You're eventually gonna have. I'm actually really upset we didn't get in this part, but we're gonna have Akari's fight. Like Akari has got a really unique ability. I can't wait to see that animated. That's gonna be fun. You know?
Yeah.
That's what makes JJK cool. Anytime the narrator came on and started explaining stuff, I almost wanted to do the childish thing of put my fingers in my ears and go la 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 la. Like I'm like, stop. You're ruining this. Stop. I don't care about Wicker Basket Domain. I don't care about like what the four gods that were controlling this. Like I don't care about
the opposing lawyer. Then
like there was that trend for a while where it was like that music and it's like Hikari's special unique technique, and I'm like, this is honestly. It's funny to me because that's like what makes this series so aggravating, and why again I really like the culling game because we get away from that and we just focus on the best parts of JJK. Because again, I'm sorry, JJK's only really good parts are the fighting. Because once we pass the culling game, I already put out the warning. It's not a spoiler. I'm just gonna say it's very frustrating. And you're gonna have to have a notepad with you. You thought the culling game in like rules that flashed across the screen like a flashbang were bad?
Pause multiple times.
Oh yeah, you thought that was bad?
Multiple times.
Oh, just wait. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh, I know.
So
yeah. Speaking of that trend though, like fucking that jump scare from the Democratic fucking account on TikTok.
We're not gonna talk
like,
about
what the fuck.
Yeah, they're spending a lot more time on doing that than actually helping fix problems here. But whatever.
Yeah, I know. Anyways,
but yeah, JJK, I agree. Like a 7.5 or an 8 for the culling game part 1 is probably appropriate.
I'm giving it an 8 solidly just because I was expecting a hell of a lot worse. So, my personal opinion, but yeah. That's all my 8s, honestly. I don't have any 8.5s. I did have one and I changed it to a 9 because I was like, no, what? No, this deserves a 9.
I was like, I have a crowded amount of shows between 8.5 and 9, I would say. Again, it's because I'm only gonna probably watch things that I enjoy,
Yeah,
unlike
that
you who sift through
you want to
shit.
watch.
Um, but I'll just, I mean, I can quickly go through. I gotta
I
like
think
make
you
sure
and
I
I
have
have
my
already.
three. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I know what
y'all.
my top
You've
three
already.
are.
Okay, I have my top three as well. You've already talked about the three that are. Sorry, you've already talked about shows that you have watched that I have not. There's only one show left that is on my list that you have not watched, but it is in my top three. So we'll get to that later.
Okay, well, I'll talk about the one that you didn't finish, which is like in my 8 to 8.5 as well, which is Hell's Paradise
Yeah,
season 2.
I'm about 4 episodes in, so yeah.
Oh,
But
you're
I've
only
read it.
4?
I've read it.
No,
Yeah,
yeah.
I didn't get very far into it. Uh,
No, that's fair.
but yeah, no, I've
It's
read it, so it's like I know this what happens.
yeah,
And I looked at what the were like. I looked at the last episode synopsis. I was like, okay, so that's where they end this. What the fuck?
yeah. Um,
There's not a lot left to adapt. What are you doing?
no, I mean, I think they ended it in like well too. I really liked how they
Fair.
ended it. I thought
Okay.
it was much better than the first season because you get through a lot of those mediocre fights in the first season, and then you end on this like amazing, like superb fight with a god, effectively. And then like some other things are happening on the side too. You're like, whoa, my god, there's so much to follow, and then it just ends, and you're like, no, no, I want more. And then this season delivered and gave you like a nice little like mwah, teaser at the end. But
Yeah.
no, I thought, I mean, I feel like I'm in a boat by myself though. With this series, mainly because I really enjoyed season 1, and I've heard from multiple people that they were like, yeah, season 1 is just kind of you know, it's like just kind of meh. And I'm like, no, I really like season 1. I think they did.
The story is the best part about this series.
Oh
Like
yeah.
my biggest complaint was I thought that like compared to what Mappa's done with other
The
series,
animation, yes,
the animation
yes.
quality wasn't as good as it should have or could have been. But
Yes.
yeah, that was my only qualm with season 1. I really enjoyed season 1. So it's like I would have thought that I would have jumped straight into season 2, but I just didn't. I was like I
I
can
mean,
get to this at any point.
there's a lot for winter, but no, I mean, I thought I thought season 2 was better than season 1 even. I think I gave season 1 an 8, which is why this one's like right around an 8.5 for me. It wasn't
Yeah.
significantly better, but yeah, to your point, the story is what really drives it. The fights are fun. It got a little bit tiresome towards the end of this season, I would say, with the fighting, but it was inevitable, right? It was eventually going to culminate to this point, so you knew it was going to
Yep.
happen. Whereas the first season, I think it kind of spaced it out a little bit better. This one, it was just kind of like, here we go, all at once, yeah. So you're like, whoa, all right. But again, that's a trivial matter. I think still the story it's well paced,
What
it's well
shines.
written. Yes, it's certainly what shines amongst everything else, I would say. Even the characters and the character development piece that's there, what little there is, because to my knowledge, everything is taking place within the span of like 3 days. I want to say it's a
Yeah, like
very
I think the whole series takes like 2.5 weeks. I think
okay.
they're on like if I remember correctly, it is not a lot of time that they are on that
No,
island.
no, and I might be there might be a gap then in what I'm remembering slash thinking of, but like I know they've made comments throughout season 1 and 2 collectively about the elapsed amount of time that is taken, and so it's like that piece to it as well is very intriguing. Like when you think about it as a whole, of like, wow, this is all taking place in the span of like less than a month, right? Whereas most series, it's like you could years at times. So that's another intriguing element to it. But no, season 2 was great. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I'm excited to see how it ends.
By the way, I was wrong. Author confirmed it is 1 week in universe.
That's what I thought. I was like, I'm pretty sure they made mention of like 3 days
I
so far. So
I thought they had recovery periods that were longer. I was wrong, so that's on me.
there's
Uh,
one element that's goofy, which if you haven't seen season 1
yeah.
yet, like I won't. It's not that important, I guess. Like the main character gets amnesia, so you'd think like, oh, this is gonna take a while. No, apparently he snaps out of it within like a day. so that could be confusing. Of like, there's no way this guy had amnesia and like was cured in less than a week, and you're like, oh shit, no, it was not. It was less. It wasn't even just less than a week. It was less than a day, right? So that's
Yeah.
kind of a goofy piece to it, but yeah, I applaud their ability to encapsulate a story within 1 week. I think that's again something very unique to the storytelling, that you can make this well written, cohesive, succinct story that timeline wise is done within a week's time. So very good. Excited for
Yeah.
season 3 or whatever movie potential might come out.
From where I saw where it left off, like it like legitimately is
No, there's
basically
not.
movie
Yeah,
length.
yeah. There's not much left. Like you
Yeah.
get the uh that inkling.
Impression.
Yes, probably a better word than inkling. The impression at the very end, even if you haven't read it, to be like, I don't think there's many bad guys left. What the fuck is this going to be a whole
Yeah.
season? Yeah, no. So
Yeah.
I'll be interested to
It
see
would
what
be
they
kind of cool
comes.
though. They had a side story that takes place like after the series, like a couple years after. It
Yeah.
will be kind of cool to see if they adapt that in whatever they do at the end here.
Oh.
So,
Yeah, maybe.
yeah. But I mean, it was a longer, just one-off chapter, so it's not
Yeah,
like it
yeah,
was a long thing. So, but
yeah.
regardless, I've got 6, you've got 5, and I'm gonna try and not step on your toes here as to what is in your top 3. So
You're
I'm gonna
good.
go with something that's outside of my top 3, but still a 9. Free Run season 2.
Yep, it's out of my top 3 as well.
That's what I figured it was going to be. Again, I love Free Run season 1. Free Run season 2, my notes here are great, shorter season. That felt like it was a good collection of small arcs while still building out the world map.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to season 3 because the consensus I got from the friends that have read the series and are up to date are like, I was really hoping they got to this one arc, which is the next arc. And I'm like, okay, this makes sense why it was 10 episodes. They just want to give the next arc as much time
Yeah,
possible
they want to
to
let it
just
breathe.
do
They
its
don't want to
thing.
constrain it
Exactly.
by containing it within another part of the season. So no,
So
it's
as
good.
disappointed as I was that it was 10 episodes, like it was still a very, very good 10 episodes.
Yeah.
Not as good as some of the other shows, but very good in general. Um, I have a feeling I know what your last show is outside of your top 3,
Yes.
and it's gonna break my heart, right?
I mean, it's still a 9, so why does it matter?
Because I have it at a 9.5.
Oh, you
Which
are a fool.
it's my number 2 show of the
You
season.
are such a fool for having it be your 9.5. I mean, I'll talk about it. I don't give a fuck. It's Oshinoko. It's still out of my top
And it's my
3.
number 2.
Yeah.
It's my number
No,
2 of the
this
season.
is the highest I think I've ever rated Oshinoko, and it's because season 3
Yeah,
is clearly the most superior of the seasons. I understand. I get why you need to take
I like
time.
this.
No, well, hey,
I feel like
let
now
me.
you're understanding why I like this series so much and why
y-
it kind of was just like built up of like this series is great because it gets so much better as time goes
I
on.
need you to stop sucking the
No,
massive dick of
no,
this series, because it's
Aquaku.
getting no. Stop. Enough. Um,
All right. Anyways,
again,
continue.
bird's eye view. I can appreciate why every season kind of had its moments of long elongated arcs, we'll call them, right?
Yeah,
I understand it. Is it still frustrating? Of course. I don't think it was necessary to have season 2 almost entirely be about this play. I think it could have been half, if not less than the season. I don't need to know all of the backstories of every single fucking character. Like I don't. It's cool, great. I know it. Is it going to be important later? I haven't seen much to that effect for a number of them, so apparently not, right? I might change my tune later, but at this point it's like I don't care about them anymore, right? You kind of lost your window. I think that's been the frustrating piece to it, is that with how much time has been spent on certain components, you expect a payoff or an understanding of why this is integral. And every time it's taken way too long to get there, and you kind of have this, well, I lost interest, and now you're trying to make me gain that interest back again. It's annoying, but sure, whatever. Go on. Season 3 felt much different. Season 3 felt like everything was very purposeful, and you had somewhat of a payoff almost instantaneously, either in the next episode or whatever the case is. You were able to start connecting things, and you saw the progression, and you saw how things were flowing. You're like, cool, great, I'm getting it, I'm understanding. Like, it was building up to this point. So season 3 did a much better job of that. I will say the last episode I thought was very corny and stupid.
Oh, come on.
It was very that's so
No.
Yes, it is. It's absolutely the fact that the last episode is like, hey, you want to be a child actor, and it's just, huh? And it just ends like that. Like, that's dumb.
Okay. It's a good comedy bit because you can see it happening, like, in his questioning.
Okay, let me challenge you there. Which character would you put at the bottom of the list in terms of having a comedic effect in this series?
Oh, you're right. It's the total embodiment of the god of death. That's exactly what it is.
No, time out. Let me rephrase my question. Out of all of our main characters that have been with us since season 1, which one is the least comedic out of every fucking character? Is it Aqua? Because that's the only answer that's acceptable. So why is he the one delivering the comedic line to the god of death at the very end, and they just go, huh, and then it ends?
It's not a comedic. It's not a comedic line though. It's a genuine.
Hey, you want to be a
question.
child actor, huh? You don't think that's the intended purpose was for it to be a little ironic and a little quirky, a little funny, a little haha moment just to wrap things up?
They were building up of like,
it's
man,
still
child
an
actors are really
it's
hard
a
to
still
find. And it's just like, hey, you got a government ID? Cool. You want to be a child actor? Just like, cause
it's
like,
still a 9. It's still a 9. All I'm saying is that there were it has vastly improved on seasons 1 and 2. I'm glad that we're finally chug-a-lugging somewhere and not dragging our goddamn feet along the path just to get to the finish line. Okay? We're good. That last episode, though, still corny. Still a little shit. That's all I'm saying.
Was it just the last scene that was corny, or was it the whole episode?
I
Because
thought
that was an extended episode. It was an hour long.
Yeah, but why? Why wouldn't you just break it up into 2? The first half of that episode, gripping. Loved it. You get the payoff too of like, oh wow, you know, the reveal takes place. Woo-wah, it finally happened. You didn't know when it was going to happen. You thought that literally everything was written on the wall, and then it finally happens. Huzzah, yay, right?
Yeah.
And then the rest of it is just kind of like, all right, we're going through the logistical nature of managing schedules and getting people in line, and yeah, the husband's back and he's a bitch errand boy now, and yada yada.
That's a big part of it too. Like just the emotional payoff of the person fuck, I can't remember her name, running the whole studio and then getting her solid person back of just being like, hey, I'm sorry that I fucked this up and ran away. You did a wonderful job. You did a great job from when I was out. The payoff of just like, hey, you didn't run this shit into the ground.
Can I challenge you though a little bit?
Sure.
The scene where she's having her team meeting and delegating the new roles. Have we ever met any of those other fucking people before? Have they ever been shown in any other fucking scene? With the glasses guy that came out of nowhere? Who the fuck is he? What did he do? There was 2 random women that just were there apparently that they were doing stuff in the office. When did they show up? When did we ever see them? All I'm saying is that I get it. There's an emotional payoff.
They challenge me and then you just fucking talk over me. All right. Like
we don't have time. We don't have time. We don't have time. And I'm not letting you research, okay? We don't have time. All I'm saying is that I get it. I understand. There's a payoff. She's exacerbated. She's completely overwhelmed by the logistical hell that is taking place managing all these different people. Totally, yes. Finds her husband, which, how do you lose your husband? Different story. Anyway, he comes back. Well, maybe not voluntarily, probably forcefully. Comes back. Yay, you have
No,
your
he was
bedrock.
definitely, yeah, he
You
was
have your.
definitely. I mean,
All I'm saying is that when she's delegating things and you see fucking Four Eyes and other random people in the room, you're like, who the fuck are you? What were you doing this whole goddamn time?
they
It
are
it
not shown. They are not shown, but they are talked about. What do you
Weird.
want? What do you want?
All I'm saying is that doesn't it feel a little less like, wow, she wasn't really that under the water of this. She wasn't really drowning. She just
No, she
didn't
was
do
because
bad job
she's
managing people. Whatever.
she had a team, but the team is like they have their own delegations. They are also probably drowning in work too. Anyways,
When did we know about
it's a
that?
9.5 for
When
me.
did we show
My
when did we
notes
show that?
in season.
I'm acting like the little lemur meme of like sitting on the chair,
I
hands
know.
up, like what?
I'm pretty sure
What?
in season
What?
1 when they talked about
Oh
like,
my
hey,
God!
when you wanna make-
You're referencing another season. This is what I literally started off by saying. The frustrating part is that you drag your
What do you
feet
want?
forever and
What do
ever,
you
and there's
want? What do you want from me?
no payoff, and then you later on make me care about it, and you're like, no, you lost your window.
I'm not saying
This
you gotta
season-
care about those characters. I'm
You just
saying
were
where they
saying
came
you're saying,
from.
oh, you didn't like the last episode of all this stuff happened. I was like, I get it. It's an extended
corny,
episode.
though.
The first half
Maybe
was
the
great.
last line is corny, but the whole episode is
The second half of the episode is just annoying. It's like, all right, going through the logistical hell. All random team shows up. They're finally doing their job. Yippee-ki-yay, wonderful. And then you deliver this last little corny line.
jobs they already had, and that was already explained in season 1. They are mentioned, they are not shown, but now it's like, hey, Office, this guy is back, and everybody's in shock and awe. What's so bad about that?
There's nothing. All I'm saying is that there's the payoff that
Why
you
are you
address.
complaining?
You literally challenged me. I said the last episode is not great, and you're like, what do you mean the whole thing? There's this extended episode. I said the first half is fine, the second half is shit, and the last line is literally corny, and that's how you leave off the season. And then you're like, well, blah 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 blah. Explanation. Here's my rationale. Here's why I'm going to prove you wrong. And I'm like, you can say all you want. I still believe that the last episode is not great, and especially the way that they leave it off is stupid. It's dumb. It's corny.
I do love that our most spirited fucking talks on this podcast is probably around Oshinoko. In all honesty, we
It's
both
because
get
every
fired
time
up
I
about this.
challenge you, and I say
have
why
an answer for it.
but it's why I don't like it, why I think it's not great, why I think it's just mediocre. You come back and you're like, okay, and try to explain it to me, and I'm like, no, you can't explain it to me. You don't understand what my
also
thoughts are on
asked
it. No, I get that. But
you challenging me are questions of like, where were these people? It's like, here's where they were. I'm giving you answers as to where they were.
But you
your
referenced
opinions
another
are fine.
season, which ties back to my previous statement of you can't drag your feet. You can't
Then
string.
Jujutsu Kaisen's dragging its feet too, because it's like, oh, something in season 1 or 2 was mentioned one fucking time, and then it's like all apparent.
I never said
season 3.
JJK was good.
That's fair.
Like, what are you talking about? God.
I mean, to be fair, we did give it a 7.5 or an 8, which is a good to a great. So
Because it fought. There was just them punching each other. That's what JJK's good at. That's why I said Oshinoko season 3 is good. You're getting back to the core elements of what I like. It's mystery, it's thrills, and it's the pure drama of it all, right? You don't have to care about them going into an acting theater troupe and doing that for fucking 9 episodes or however long that goddamn arc took. You don't care about them going to school and making friends with characters that realistically don't give a fuck about until like 10 episodes later, and you're like, oh, you're back now, cool, I don't have to care about you. You're finally getting to the point where you're like, awesome, let's get back to the core of what makes Oshinoko great. And all I said was the last episode was just less than thrilling because the first half was wonderful. You get to this climactic piece, the reveal happens, huzzah, and then the second half is just blasé, tied up with a really shitty bow of, you want to be a child actor? Huh? And then it ends. That's all I said. That is literally all I said, and I still gave it a 9, and you still are annoyed with me.
I'm not pressing you about it being a 9. I'm pressing you about the last
Move
episode being
along.
as a whole corny. My notes for it: 9.5.
There's no more notes. No. We're done.
No.
Move along.
This is,
Move along.
let me fucking talk.
No. Move along. We've said enough.
My
Move
notes
along.
will take 2 fucking seconds.
One.
Hell yeah, this has been the best
2.
season yet. Fuck you.
All right,
Fuck
that's
you.
it.
Fuck you
Hell
and
yeah,
your
this is the
couch.
best
No.
season yet. That's all you need to say. Move on.
Fuck you and your couch.
My
you
top
bastard.
3. My number 3 is
No, fuck no, Tyler. Fuck you. No, just give me a goddamn moment, all right? It won't take me long. I've gone through
Shut
the
up
rest
and
of
go.
these shows
Shut up and
rather
go.
quickly.
I'm literally I was staying quiet. Shut up and go.
God damn it. This is so been the best season yet. This is the greatest opening like sequence that we've had in a very long time across, anime in general. That's my opinion. Whatever. The story flowed very well and didn't linger on one topic too long as it set up the finale that, in my opinion, will be the death of media literacy in the anime community. Those are my notes. Now we can move on.
Perfect. Wait, the media literacy? The last
Yes.
season?
The last season will be the death of media literacy in the anime community.
Got it. Okay. I thought you were referring to the last episode, not this season. But I've heard the rumors. Yeah. I know.
I mean, yeah. Anyways,
Yeah.
I think your number 3 and what's just outside my top 3, Sentenced to be a Hero.
Yep.
So I gave it a 9. It's a great dark fantasy show with a stellar cast of main and side characters. The world building, as well, or like it has great world building and has an intriguing story. This was an incredible first season, though, through and through. I cannot wait to get more of the series, which, unfortunately, as of today, season 2 might be in jeopardy. So we'll see about that sometime soon.
I was gonna say I'm really behind on my news, so that is news to me.
Yeah, apparently Studio Kai is running in the black in the red right now by the accounts of $3.5 million US dollars, not yen. So yeah, they're not doing so hot right now. So don't know what's gonna happen with season 2. So we'll see.
Give it a wit. They can probably handle it.
Yeah, but WIT also they have their own fucking problems right now because they use generative AI in their opening for a sentence
as a bookworm. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, they've got their own
what
fucking
studio
problems to deal
isn't
with right
having
now.
problems, honestly? Anyway.
Great question. Bones? Bones. We'll go with Bones.
Yeah, Bones, probably. No, Sentenced to be a Hero. Again, I made a comment on I think the first episode too. It's nice that we're getting a couple of dark fantasies close together. Like Clevitus was wonderful. I thought that was a really underappreciated one, even though it is highlighted in the Anime Awards, which we'll get to in a second. But
yeah,
no, I think this is a great, like, not replacement, but a good way to follow it up too and continue along with that dark fantasy trend, because it is one area or like one genre of anime that I feel like we don't get a lot of season to season. So this was great.
And if we do get them, they're not very good. They're very cheesy or just like you get like Eminence of the Shadow, which is just like it's just fucking.
It's fine. It's just to turn your brain off, and who cares? Yeah. This one though, I mean, like
teenage edgy.
The world building, the characters, the like dynamics and connotation of being a hero, right? Like what that brings along with it, and the message that it sends across the town. Because and normally you hear hero and you're like, oh, cool, hero, and when like in this context, it's like, oh no, that's a bad thing. It's a bad thing.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, this is interesting. I wonder how this will, we'll have to navigate this. The conflict, a lot of the mystery, and I don't know how to say this without coming across as like an AOT bro or like someone that's like really into gore. Yeah. But they do the brutality really well. Like Clevitus was very graphic. And it was a bit jarring at times. Sentenced to be a Hero does it in a more, again, poor lack of phrasing on my end, but like a more tame way, I guess, where it is still graphic, but it's not like
It's
slaughterhouse
not over the
blood
top. It's
blood b-
not.
blasting everywhere type stuff. Like there's one scene in
Yeah.
particular that sticks out to me, and it's in the final episode, and I remember watching and being like, whoa, my gosh. um
Are we talking about the sewer scene?
no, no, we're talking about
Oh.
the office scene. um
Oh, that scene. Yes, that is a
yeah,
very good one.
yeah. So I appreciate that aspect to it too, but no, this was wonderful. And as someone that came into it blind, I know there's a light novel that also had some controversy along with it, with the depiction of certain characters, I guess, in the anime. um Thankfully that's been put to rest, but I was pleasantly surprised. So this definitely got the slight edge above Oshinoko. It's still a 9, but it took my number 3 spot. It was between the two. I just felt like I was more on the edge of my seat with Sentence than I was with Oshi, but it was close.
Yeah. No, fair. I do have one show that is outside the top 3, and it is your number 2 or number 3, number 2,
Number 2.
and that is excuse me. You and I are polar opposites.
It's okay to be
I
wrong.
gave this one a 9. Like I it was an
No,
8.5, and I was
I'm
like,
kidding. I'm
no,
kidding.
this deserved a 9. What did you say?
I
I
said it's
didn't
okay.
even hear
I
you.
said it's okay to be wrong.
Oh yeah, fair. No, so for me, like the only reason I had an 8.5 before is like I still don't take it as like a serious romance. Like it doesn't really. It's a very lighthearted series, so it's like harder to compare that and give it like a thoughtful 10 or higher than a 9. But at the end of the day, I think like this is how you do an adaptation of a manga.
Hmm.
Like the source material is still relatively new. I think it's within the last 5 years. But even then, and we talked about this on a previous episode, like the anime updated some of the lingo that the high schoolers were using in the anime compared to what's actually in the manga.
Yeah.
So like they kept with the trends, they kept with the time, and I really appreciated it. But like the story is cute. Like it's not a very, you know, complex story. It's just two people falling in love and then just
Yeah.
side characters dealing with emotions as well. But it's like at the end of the day, characters are well written, albeit they're not very complex whatsoever. Like you have one character that might be somewhat complex because they're jaded, but that's about it. Like the rest of them are just like regular old teenagers. Like they're not very hard to read. They're, kind of one-track minded.
Yeah.
So like it was still very good. It is a very good lighthearted show. Like between I appreciated that this show came out the same day as our number 1 show because
It's a good
it
balance.
really it really helped balance out like the
Yeah.
depression and like the lightheartedness. So you'd watch our number 1 show
It's I mean
and then
it
you'd watch the dub of this and be like, everything's okay in the world.
it's the contrast of how two shows can depict high school in wildly different manners, right?
100%.
Um yeah, I mean my only extra thoughts on it are that the quirkiness and the goofiness is so accurately captured in the anime from the manga. It's like something I really appreciate, and like I always like to highlight because I feel like sometimes there's a directive point to be like, we don't want to make it too over the top or too exaggerated, right? But this, I mean, the manga itself is very much like that. Like the artistic style and how characters are almost in this constant like chibi type form at times is pretty consistent throughout the manga, and so that have that be adapted directly into the anime and it stay true to itself is very refreshing to see. Um I would just note that I do think the characters are more intricate than they're led on to be. And it's partially because there's so many that are highlighted in season 1 that there's not a lot of time for them to develop. You kind of see little bits and pieces here and there of them like making these small
Yeah.
improvements, like Tyra's like kind of coming out of his shell a little bit and not, putting up his guard all the time. There's the one girl, Azuma, I think her name is, that usually hangs out with Tyra. Like she's becoming less like afraid, I guess, to be her true self, and kind of again put up that mask. And the same with a lot of
Yeah.
other characters too. I think the beauty though of this series is that we have the main characters, uh, but they're kind of like put out of focus after episode 6, which is kind of nice. And we get to see like all
Yeah,
these
because
other like dynamics taking place, and it's like, oh,
yeah,
cool.
because by the end of episode 1, I mean, minor spoilers here because it's episode 1. Like the main two characters confess their feelings for each other, and it's like,
Yeah,
great, we'll explore this relationship, but like, what's going on over here? Let's
it's
take a little dabble over here.
yeah. I mean, like obviously bad comparison just because the characters don't confess their love for each other this early on. Hell, it takes a very long time for them to. But like the dangers in my heart, like there are other side
Yeah,
characters that go through their own relationships type stuff, right? And they're given their time on screen, but it's usually only when our two main characters are on screen too, right? They're like they're always
yeah,
interacting with them. Polar opposites are like there can be whole episodes dedicated to just this one couple or this one group of friends or this one single character and how they're interacting with everyone else too, right? And it's not just
yep.
wholly centered on like the main two and how everyone else is interacting through them. So that's what I really appreciate about it too. But no, I think more people, if people really like season 1, then but you're kind of like maybe in your position, the romance is not there, like the character growth is not really shown, like the true nature of
I
the
wouldn't say that
complexity
it's
of the
like the character.
characters isn't put into full light, we'll
Yeah,
say. Season 2 I think will definitely bring more of that out because we get more into the like issues that can come across when dealing with one's own feelings. Right now, like season 1, we'll chalk it up to like discovering that you have feelings. Season 2 will be like, how do I navigate these feelings and what do they mean and how can I express them, and is it wrong to show someone else my feelings, and what can I get hurt by it and will I get hurt by it? Like you get more into that with season 2, so I'm excited. Um,
yeah.
and
No,
this is yeah,
I'm thrilled to get more of this. Like, it's a
I
short
love the
series.
show.
It's only 8 volumes long, I believe. 7 or 8.
Yeah, I think 8, like right around there.
Yeah, and I've got the first 6, and I looked today because I finished it yesterday. I was like, how far into it did we actually get? And we're only in volume 4, so we'll get the last 4 as like a second season. So it's like, great,
Yeah, it
that's
should.
wonderful.
Yeah, it should
They
get just
paced it.
wrapped up. Yeah.
Yeah. So my number 3, which is not on your list, you did not finish this show, so I'm gonna go through it really quickly. And I'm wholeheartedly say this, that you need to go back to this show 100%. I know you tried, but you didn't get there. Shibo Yugi, playing death games to
I
put
got
food on
through.
the table.
I got through 6 episodes.
You got through most of it. I say shorter. It's 11 episodes for the season, but like I gave this a 9.5 because my notes here, and because I know we're pressed for time. Without a
Yeah.
doubt, this is a new like gold standard for death game, like the death game genre. Shiba Yugi oozes like artistic charm while introduced an awesome world and created compelling characters with thought-provoking motivations. It also left on a cliffhanger that I need to know more about. Like honestly, like episode ends, credits roll, last minute something happens in it and I'm just like, no, what, how, and I'm just like, I need to know how that ends. I need to, because like throughout the season they jump from like death game to death game,
Yeah.
like in the main character's world. So like at the very beginning they start somewhere in the teens, then they go like into the 20s, and then they show off the number 30, like the 30th death game, which is like a big hurdle for characters, and then they go back to number 9, and it's at the very end of 9 that like the season ends. And I'm just like, how is this not discussed previously like in the other death games? And it blew my mind that I was just like, I need to know more about this one character. Like they introduce so many side characters that are so fucking cool and
Hmm.
so fucking well written, and I'm just like, I really really want more from this series like as soon as I can. Again, the only reason that I have you and I are polar opposites outside of my top 3 is because death games as a genre has just been very bad recently, in my opinion.
For quite a long time.
This for a while, yeah, but this has really brought it up to like this is what it can be. This is a gold standard for this genre.
Yeah.
Like that, like it deserves a top 3 spot. Like any other season, you and I are polar opposites would be in the top 3 without a doubt. But this just blew me away. That I was just like just kind of like our number 1 show. Like I kind of went back and forth with this and that because it
Mm-hmm.
was that good. Because another note here that I didn't really put in is like it doesn't explain everything to you. It shows you a lot, like in the sense of uh like look back for you know, the one shot or the movie look back, like there's a lot of on-screen characterization where there's no dialogue, but you see them growing, you see what's going on around them, and
Mm-hmm.
you can understand what they're going through or what they're feeling or et cetera, et cetera. They do the same here. They show scenes that will have no dialogue, but you understand what's going on, or you kind of get the feeling of what the fuck happened. Like, um, minor spoilers here, our main character does something that would compromise the death games like that in the world that she's living in as a whole, and they punish her for it, but you don't understand why. Like it's never explicitly told you that they punished her for doing that
Mm-hmm.
action, but you can infer that like, hey, we like, you know, her manager's like, we'll deal with this, but like no, that it'll never happen again. Like it's a lot of show not tell, and I really fucking love that because it lets you use your brain and not just spelled out for you. So I really really do love this show, and I really hope that we get more of it.
Having only watched half of it, my biggest compliment to it is exactly what you just highlighted at the end, is that there's a lot you can just infer from what's on screen and what minimal conversations are taking place without them blatantly telling you what's going on.
Yeah,
Like progression for
it's
me was, how did they get here, to how does the game operate, to how did they get involved from the beginning, right? And that's kind of where I'm at right now. And the questions kept piling up, but the intrigue of it all has me so encapsulated by it. That doesn't seem like the right word. My brain's starting to slow down. Infatuated by it too. That's a better word.
yeah, that's
That
a better word.
I I can hold my like patience on discovering everything at once, because I'm more in like intrigued by the world and the game and how it operates than figuring out,
Yeah,
okay, like what are all the secrets behind it and the mysteries that are taking place. And I like how they keep adding in elements to give you a little bit more insight into how everything is functioning without, again, to
it's
your
so good.
point, without just coming out and just telling you right to your face, hey, stupids, here's what's actually happening. I really appreciate that. And to have it be something that's so engaging and engrossing for people watching is something that's, to your point, death games struggle with, because it's like this balance of how much do we need to tell people to get them interested versus how much can we kind of keep close to our chest and leave for the ending.
Yeah,
Obviously we poke fun of Tomodachi Game all the time, but like the biggest pitfall for that series is that it throws you this like, haha, you thought you knew what was happening, but what's really happening was this, and it never makes sense. It always feels like a cop out. It always felt very like
it
staged
just
and
felt
and
made up
and
and out of left field.
yeah, exactly.
It just
This feels natural. This feels like it's something where everything makes sense. There's like uniformity and conformity to how it's being presented and what's all happening on the back end and what's being shown to everyone too. And like you're kind of learning as other characters are learning too at times. Like it's all well constructed. So yeah, no, I give it high praise too, having only watched the halfway through, and I'm sure I'll um be screaming from the rooftops when I finish it for a second season to come
'cause
out soon.
it's that cliffhanger, man. Like
We'll talk about it when I get
it
there.
it it digs so deep into just everything, and I'm like, fuck, man, fuck. Oh, it's so good. Um, But anyways, our number one show, we're not going to talk too much about it just because I believe we have an episode planned about it
We
for
do.
next week, which I
Yes.
realize now. I had said we'll talk more about episode ones of next season, this current season next week, but that'll be 2 weeks from now.
Oops.
Um, oops, my bad. Number one show of the season last season, Journal with Witch. I remember watching episode one, just fucking screaming from the rooftops and just messaging you ASAP. You need to watch this. This is
I think I
not
said
the
I already
type of
watched it.
television. I think you were on the same page. Yeah, if you hadn't watched
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
you were like in the process of finishing it or something. I don't know. But regardless, this is such a unique show that again, we're going to be talking more about this on our next episode because we're going to do a really deep dive into this series.
Mm-hmm.
Um so I don't really want to talk too much about it. So my notes here, which is the quick and dirty of it. This was an incredible show that is hard to quantify by a number. It really is. Like it's hard to be like this is a 10. It's not an entertaining 10. This is such a thought-provoking 10 and just a very like introspective 10 that it pushes the what if boundaries and explores sensitive yet relatable experiences that are rarely shown off so humanly. And that's like my down and dirty kind of notes and summary of why this is a 10. It is an incredible show, but it's not in like, oh my god, this is the most entertaining show out there. Like
No.
this is such a introspective, relatable to a like human core show that is rarely done well and even rarer, to this extent. So that's all I'm going to talk about it. But what a fucking incredible show this was.
Yeah. No, this is it's one of the very few 10 out of 10s that I have. Cuz my only comment is that this series does what very few if any do, which is show like the true nature of like humanity.
Yeah.
And I think that's hard. I think that's hard because it's quite subjective. And I have a planned out video I want to make on this too because there's so much to this series in 13 episodes. And again, to your point, something that's not outwardly entertaining in the context of what people associate with being an anime, right? That
Yeah.
but there's something kind of raw about it and true to nature that it's hard. It's really hard to encapsulate, but this series does it to perfection, I think. And yeah, I don't know. I could again we could gush about it. I think it's better served dedicating an episode to it and dedicating a whole separate video to it too. But
Yeah.
100% without a doubt was the best series of winter. And it quite literally, I mean, we always get our hopes up when we say things like this, but I do think this is something that deserves a nod for at least best new series for 2026. Obviously for the following
If
Crunchyroll
it's
Awards.
not if it's not in best new series, best drama minimum, I'll
Oh
be mad.
my god, yeah. I mean that should be in my mind that should be a given. I said
Yeah.
best new series as a minimum because truthfully speaking, it could win anime of the year.
I mean, yeah, no, like it is as of this point my anime of the year as well. Period. Like as much as I loved
Yeah.
and gush about Oshinoko, as much as I thought Shiba Yugi was amazing for its genre, this was a one of a kind show that was exemplar. Yeah, I can't even say
Yeah.
it. It was just excellent. It was just so fucking good.
Yeah.
But
But speaking of anime of the year,
speaking
other
of anime
awards.
of the year, we had probably a few months ago, we went through what we thought would be at the Anime Awards this coming season, what we would personally pick and what we thought would win. Now, we're not going to go through every category. We're going to go through the first 5, which is going to be Best Original Anime, Best New Series, Best Continuing Series, Film of the Year, and Anime of the Year. So real quick, going through this because I know we're really pressed for time here, and if you've stuck with us this far, God bless you. Thank you so much for staying here. But yeah, we're just gonna do this down dirty real quick. Best original anime. We're gonna go from the bottom up. The 6 nominees are Apocalypse Hotel, Digimon Beat Break, Lazarus, Mobile Suit Gundam G Quicks, Moonrise, and Zenshu. Of those 6, we got half of the list. We
Hey,
had
it's not bad.
Lazarus, not bad. Lazarus, Mobile Suit Gundam G Quicks, and Zenshu. The ones that were not on this list that we had were Serario Utility, which goddamn, I wish that was on this list because
Yeah,
Apocalypse Hotel.
Apocalypse Hotel
Yeah.
is
Anyways,
Oop.
actually, I don't even think we watched that one, but I don't even know what the fuck Moonrise is. I didn't watch that one either. And then Digimon is Digimon. I feel like
Yeah.
I heard the first few episodes. People are like, "Oh my god, it's great," and then I heard nothing.
Yep.
Absolutely nothing after that, and it's just like,
Yep.
"Great, where are you at, Digimon fans?" But Serario Utility, we had on here Dusk Beyond the End of the World, and then To Be Hero X, which, to be clear, got 0 nominations
For how
because
much hype
from
it received, that's shocking to me.
what I heard and why it did not get nominated is because it is a Chinese cartoon
I
and
was
not an anime, quote unquote,
I was gonna say that
which is
was
some absolute fucking bullshit. But
well,
here we are.
you can make the argument again that something like Blue Eyed Samurai should have been nominated, but it
Yeah,
was done by a French studio, right? So, yeah, I don't understand why To Be Hero X wouldn't, outside of obviously the rationale being it was done by a Chinese studio, but that aside,
Onwa, that's what it is. I couldn't remember the name.
yes. But that aside, the one I mean, again, I'm biased. I think Serario Utility should have gotten a nod at the
Yeah,
very least. I think that show was
agreed.
wonderful. But
It's
I think we're in agreement though.
one of 2
Lazarus,
properties. I was gonna say Serario Utility was one of 2 properties that ever got me into wanting to play golf.
yeah. The other one got canceled.
No,
Sorry.
You don't
But I
have
think
to
I think we're in
remind
agreement
me.
that Lazarus would likely be the winner here.
Yeah, I voted for Lazarus out of this show, like series of shows, just because like it was between this and I think Zenshu. Zenshu, I think, suffered in the beginning and then it got very good near the end. But
Yep. Yeah.
anywho, moving on. Next, we have best new series. Now, of these, we had one,
I
two.
hope you just end with one. One.
We only had 2.
One. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we had Gachi Akuta and the summer Hikaru died.
The other nominees are
full- the other nominees, the official nominees, are Clevitus, Gachi Akuta, Sakamoto Days, Takapi's Original Sin,
yay.
Fragrant Flower Blooms with You, and The Summer Hikaru Died. So we had Gachi Akuta in the summer. The 4 that we had, oh, actually, sorry, we had Fragrant Flower as well. The other
Hooray.
3, so we had 3. We're 50% through and through right now. The other 3 that we had that we thought would be on this list were Blue Box, which is shocking that this is not on this list, but it is littered throughout the rest of the nominations.
Yep.
Blue Box, Secrets of the Silent Witch, and Orb.
Yeah.
Those were the other 3 that are not on this list that we had on our personal list of what we thought was going to show up.
I was gonna say I think you also had Medalist in Mono, if I'm not mistaken, for best new series.
If I were to make my own, yes. If I
Yeah.
were to make my own, Medalist and Mono would be on there, but
Our collective
we are.
one, yes, we
our
had Blue
collective
Box,
one,
Orb,
correct.
and Secrets of the
And
Silent.
Secrets of
Secrets
the
of the
Silent
Silent Witch. I think it was between Blue Box and Orb, and if many of you know, I could not stop screaming about Orb. I honestly think Secrets of the Silent Witch is the most surprising to me because I felt like that series was wonderful from start to finish. Again, a very underappreciated one from last year that, if I remember correctly, was in a season that was jam-packed with heaters, so I bet it just got overshadowed in that season, which, unfortunate as it is, that one to me is the most surprising.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still a little bit more surprised Blue Box isn't on here just for the fact that it is on other nominations for this year.
Yeah.
So that's to me personally why I'm kind of most surprised of. And I think the reason Blue Box isn't on here and the reason why Orb isn't on here is because I believe they started in fall 2024.
Yep, I agree.
So that's probably
right.
why they are not on this list.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But
I still think Gachi Yakuta is going to win this, despite my vote being Fragrant Flower of this list.
yeah, I think Gachi Yakuta wins. I will. 2 notes I want to make. One, big props that Clevitus gets the nod for best new series because that was
Happy
a
about
shocker
that.
to me.
Very happy about that.
Yeah. The other one, this is more of a nitpick. As much as I love Takabe's Original Sin, it is weird that it's best new series only because it is now finished. Like it's 6 episodes. It's done.
I wouldn't even call it like it's more of a shit. What do you call it? Like what Band of Brothers and like type show miniseries.
Like mini series, limited series, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Like
When I think of
it's like a
when I think of a new series, I think of like, okay, there's going to be like multiple seasons of something, right?
Yeah.
Which we already know the others will. Yeah. Takabe's Original Sin is 6 episodes done, right?
Which hilarious that we're saying that about Takabe's Original Sin and we just put Journal with Witch in this category of like minimum it needs to be best new series because
I know.
Journal with Witch is not getting a season 2. Like
no, it's done. The story's
ended the series. Yeah.
Yeah, the story's done. Yeah.
So it's funny that we put we talk about that then.
I know. But that's always been a nitpick of mine. Like when I think of series, I think of something that it has multiple seasons. It's a series, not just a singular season. But that aside, I this is one of the few categories where I look at it and I'm like, okay, I don't have much to say other than I think Sakamoto Days is not deserved there, but everything else,
not even a little bit.
Everything else I'm cool with. So,
yep. Next up we have best continuing series. So we had 1, 2. Oh, that one wasn't on there. That one wasn't on there. 3, 4. We had 4 of the 6, so we're just above 50% now.
Pretty good.
So the nominees here for best continuing series is Dan season 2, Kaiju number 8 season 2, My Hero Academia the final season, One Piece wherever the fuck they're at with One Piece, Solo Leveling season 2, and then Spy Family season 3. Now we had Solo Leveling, One Piece, Spy Family, My Hero. So we didn't have Kaiju on here, and we didn't have Dan on here, which I'm kind of surprised we didn't put Dan on here. The 2 that we had on our list thinking would be here other than Dan and Kaiju were going to be Apothecary Diaries and My Dress Up Darling, which I'm kind of shocked that Kaiju beat both of those out, despite the fact that Kaiju number 8 season 2 was the better of the, first and second season.
Well, it had to be.
Still kind of, well, yeah, but regardless, it's kind of still it's still a 7 to 8 out of 10 show. It's not Apothecary Diaries or My Dress Up Darling, which were, I feel like in our opinion, infinitely better. Not infinitely better, but
I mean significantly,
a lot better.
Significantly, I would
significant is a better word for that. Yes.
Yeah.
So I think for this category specifically, we had Solo Leveling winning this because Solo Leveling was the bee's knees last year. You go online or TikTok or any sort of social media without somebody, glazing the hell out of Solo Leveling season 2, and just putting down Frieren. It is what it is.
I don't want to be that person, but like season 2, I'm gonna draw the comparison with JJK. Season 2 was good because it did what everyone just wants it to be. It's just fighting. They just want to see action. It's like
exactly.
That's why everyone loved the Shibuya incident for JJK and why everyone misvoted during that whole debacle with JJK, right? It's like
I'm just happy that they fixed that this year and they just did not include that.
Well, they also didn't acknowledge it either, even though they blatantly interchanged the title cards. That's another thing. So yeah, I mean, I think Solo Leveling, I would honestly give it to Solo Leveling too. I think my personal pick would be My Dress Up Darling because I think season 2 is wonderful top to bottom.
That's what my personal pick would be as well.
Yeah, but I I would not be upset with Solo Leveling season 2 just because it did what everyone wants it to do, which is just fight, action, fight, fight, go, go, fight, fight, action. Great, you do
Yeah.
it well, awesome.
And then downvote to like the worst voted season or episode of the season of the series, let alone is like the most story beat season or episode where
Yeah.
he, if you've not watched Solo Leveling, very
Which is
spoiler,
hilarious.
he fucking cures his mom. That's the whole point of the show. He does it.
He did
He
it,
does it as the worst rated fucking episode of the series.
which kills me every time. But again, that just goes to everyone just being like,
Yeah.
don't fight me, don't like. So it's like, all right.
Yeah. My personal vote for this list would be Dan to Dan season 2, but that's because my dress up darling isn't here. So
Yeah.
Moving on, best film. This will be a quick one. We did get a good chunk of these correct.
I mean, in
here.
fairness,
So
there wasn't that much that came out. Like that would have been nominated, but yes. Go ahead.
Yeah, so we had 4 of the 6 on this list. So the list of nominees are 100 Meters, which you can watch on Netflix. I still need to watch it.
Same.
Chainsaw Man, the movie, Reze Arc. Demon Slayer, Infinity Castle, Part 1 of 3, mind you. Mononoke, the movie, Chapter 2. Scarlet, and Rose of Versailles. Or Versailles, I don't know how
Versailles.
you want to pronounce it. Versailles. Okay,
it's a French word. The Rose of Versailles.
Words.
Yeah.
Anyways, we got 4 of those. We had Demon Slayer, Chainsaw Man, Scarlet, and 100 Meters. The 2 that we did not have in here were Mononoke and Rose of Versailles, which we had the Hatsune Miku movie, Colorful Stage, the movie, A Miku Who Can't Sing, and Virgin Punk Clockwork Girl. Granted, that's because we didn't know what the fuck else was just going to be here. I think, brought up Mononoke.
I did.
Season 2, or number 2, but we didn't think it had a shot in hell because it was a sequel movie.
And I think Virgin Punk, if I had to surmise,
It was a short film.
Well, that's the thing. I think the interpretation was it was just an extended episode.
Yeah.
Because if anyone's not aware, we both saw it in theaters, and you saw it before me, gave me the heads up because you did not get the warning yourself, I don't think, if memory serves.
Nope.
Like, it is basically an extended episode, and the remainder of the quote movie is like what background scenes of like, here's everyone working on it, and here's how the world came to be, and blah blah blah. And I'm like, holy shit, it's 30 minutes of this. This is outrageous. This isn't a film.
And then the last hour of it was just documentary.
That's what I mean. That's what it was like. It was crazy. So I imagine that's probably why I didn't get the nod, because again, it's just a glorified extended episode.
We were also just grasping for straws on movies.
That's
so.
also true.
Chainsaw Man would be my vote here, but I have Demon Slayer winning.
I had an extended conversation with individuals during my Japan trip on how the unfortunate nature of this category will be that Demon Slayer wins, even though the Reze Arc film is objectively a better film, because
150% better.
I mean, the simple case for it is Reze Arc is a film. It is a contained story, start to finish. The Demon Slayer Infinity Castle movie is part 1 of 3. It is not a finished movie. It is a third of what you are to witness. It's not done. It can't be considered a movie on its own. And then you'll be like, well, Tyler, what about the Hobbit films? There's Hobbit part 1, 2, 3. They have conclusions. There's at least a conflict that gets resolved. Oh, there's conflicts that get resolved in this. No, there's fights. There's one fight that really mattered, and it almost. I mean, there were 2 fights that were kind of eh. There was one fight that actually was,
That's fair. Yeah. No, 2 minor fights, 1 major fight.
I digress. I do think, unfortunately,
that's
Demon
the
Slayer.
stupidity that we are arguing here.
Yeah, Demon Slayer's gonna win it because everyone's gonna say it grossed the most amount of money. It's one of the highest grossing films of all time domestically too. It's got $1 bajillion in the box office. It has to win, and that means it's good, right? And it's like, sure, if you want to go by that metric, whatever. I'm not going to sit here and try to argue with you. It's the same as if I was going to try to argue with a brick wall.
Yep. Last up, we have anime of the year, and while you were talking, I kind of did my analysis
Ba-ba-ba-ba.
here. We were a 50% on this as well, so we were just like a bitty bit above 50% on as a total guessing for these 5 categories. But
Not
the
bad.
ones we
It's not bad.
not bad by any means. But the honestly, I am the most shocked about this category as to what was nominated and
Yeah,
what we had on our list. So,
agreed.
anime of the year, your nominations are Dan to Dan Season 2, Gachi Akata, My Hero Academia Final Season, Takapi's Original Sin, Apothecary Diaries Season 2, and The Summer Hikaru Died. The ones we had correct were Apothecary Diaries, Gachi Akata, and My Hero Academia. The ones that are not on this list that we thought with a bullet for sure we're gonna be here: ReZero Season 3, My Dress Up Darling Season 2, and Solo Leveling Season 2. Boy howdy, is there a fucking god out there that Solo Leveling did not get nominated for this
Well,
category.
okay. I'm gonna make one assessment, and then I'm gonna close my thoughts for the majority of the remaining of this episode.
Okay.
I cannot, for the life of me, figure out the rubric by which these anime are judged. Because you look at anime of the year and you go, Dan Season 2, funny, good animation, quirky story, lovable characters.
Good action.
Gachiakata, yeah, good action. Gachiakata, intriguing world, very like character style through the roof.
Unique
Story
art, yep.
story is there. It's good. It's not
Yeah.
great by any means, but it's good. Hell of a soundtrack. So you love the sound design on it too. My Hero
Yep.
Final Season, you're getting to the climax of everything. You're getting to the full payoff. Of course it's going to be on there. To your point, like many other anime watchers, it's probably the one series that got a lot of people around our age back into anime because it came out 10 years ago, I think at this point. So, yeah, no. This was going to be on there I think no matter what. Takapi's Original Sin. Gripping tale. Emotionally charged. Just very odd in a positive way.
Yeah.
Like it's a very interesting take / perspective on subjects that are very challenging to portray.
Yep.
And so it's just kind of jarring. Makes it very intriguing. Apothecary Diary Season 2, you're just continuing on. Still the mystery. Still great characters. Not much to say about the world itself.
China's detective, Sherlock Holmes.
No
Child
specific place and or potential.
Oh, sorry, you're right. Somewhere in the greater world of,
nondescript
in the greater
time
country
period
of Asia.
Yeah, not even going to say that. Nondescript,
Oh, sorry.
nondescript location and time period and setting of everything taking place. But just still a great continuation. We're finally getting more into like the characters and some of the other mysteries taking
good
place.
Payoff for the finale.
Yeah, and then The Summer Hikaru Died is a good. I classified it as a horror tale. And again, this is one where the BL fans out there go back and forth on it because the manga came out and was like, it's not actually BL, and everyone's like, it's basically boys' love. Like, calm down.
There. You had a man enter another man in some form of capacity,
and not to adjust his magical levels.
To get the warm and or not the warm and tinglies, but to get the tinglies.
Yeah. Really good story, and the characters are well written and fairly deep, I would say.
Yeah. So
that analysis, I cannot draw a conclusion as to how they are determining what gets the nod. Because if I'm like, Dan's up there, my thought process is, oh, there's going to be more action ones. There's going to be more comedic things. There's going to be more just in line with what Dan represented for season 2. So why isn't Spy Family there? Why isn't Solo Leveling there? Like, right? Like, Gachiakuta's there, My Hero's there, great. But like, what about these other ones? Takapi, fantastic story. So why isn't Orb there? Why isn't all these other series that like had more gripping tales about them in this category, right? It's this type of inconsistency where I cannot determine or I cannot judge how these nominees come about is what really frustrates me. And I'm like, because it is through most of the categories too that are not genre specific, right? Because we could go into
Yeah.
details about like drama and fantasy and isekai and all that stuff, blah 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 blah. But like the ones that are more generic, it's like how do you assess the rationale or the reasoning behind why these ones specifically got nominated? And you can't, like, I cannot determine it. It's like a this paradox or Pandora's box of like I don't know if I want to see inside because it feels like it's just going to be pure chaos and annihilation. But I need to know how the sausage is made because it's starting to get really frustrating.
Yeah. No, I agree. Because like I think on our personal list, we had Gachiakuta, Fragrant Flower, Mud Dud season 2, Dandadan season 2, My Hero, and then Orb,
Yep.
which, matches what is on their list kind of to a degree. We got three of the six again, but
Yeah.
like it's that final three of where the fuck do we go from here? How
That's
did this happen?
and that's what I mean. Like it's situations like this where I really want to go and understand like who was it, what anime were put into this pool to begin with. Did we start at 20? Do we start at 50? Do we start at everything that came out and dwindle down from there? How did we go about assessing what classifies as being anime of the year? You have this little information bubble, set the standards for all the other shows in this last year. Great, but I wouldn't say that Dandadan did that. I wouldn't even say Apothecary Diaries did that. Hell, I wouldn't even say My Hero Academia did that, right? You can give a case for Summer Hikaru died, maybe. Takopi, sure, yeah. Gachiakuta, I think, would be up there in that regard, right?
Yeah.
But like, compelling stories, beautiful executions, unforgettable characters weave elements that create true masterpieces. I don't see that in all of these, is the thing. I can get elements of it in each one, sure, but you don't get that full culmination that really proves to me, yes, this deserves anime of the year with this kind of
Yeah.
inconsistent lineup of nominees. So that was my only gripe. I had other issues with the larger anime Crunchyroll Awards as a whole because I think there was a lot of repeat offenders again that don't
I
deserve
agree.
the nods, but that's been yelled about ad nauseum at this point. So I will choose my battles more appropriately this time around. So yeah, this one just is confusing to me.
Yeah, and I do like your idea of like, I don't know if it was no, it was your idea. I was trying to look through our Discord real quick. Really cap a series or a show at 3 nominations per year. Like, hey, this is tier like anime of the year, obviously tier 1. Best continuing series, tier 2, best film, tier 3, yada yada yada, go down the list.
Yeah.
And whatever the top 3 that they get the most votes for, great, stick them there. Don't stick them in the others.
Yeah, and
So
someone that I talked with about it too because they had a very similar thought process on the entire awards lineup as well. When I mentioned that, they were like, "It's hard to do that because voice actors and stuff." And I was like, "Yeah, that's aside. Like directors, like
I think voice
awards given."
actors you don't even quantify. Like that doesn't count
Right,
towards
because
the
that's an
number.
award given to an individual person on the project, not the project as a whole. But they were like, they made the
Correct.
point to say like, what's really frustrating is situations where something's nominated for best drama and best comedy. It's like pick a lane. You can't be both.
Yeah. No, I'd
And
agree.
I'm like,
So
that's an easy one. In my opinion, you get one nomination per like you get a singular nomination for a genre or a category like that. You cannot be like best drama, best comedy, or best isekai, best fantasy, right? Like you get one, and that's it.
yeah.
Because it's doing an injustice to a lot of the other shows that probably deserve a nod there too. Like I like Spy Family getting like a number of nominations in those categories every single time is infuriating to no end. But again, we can continue on and on.
We
And the
can.
frustrating
And we
nature of
have
this
continued on
series.
and on.
Yes,
Thank
we
you so much
have.
for joining us. Thank you
Way
so
too
much for
long.
joining us this week. Yeah, this again, as I said at the top of the show, this is going to be an extended episode. But if you
Nah.
made it this far, thank you so much for making it this far. We greatly appreciate it. We'll be back next week with a brand new episode. But if you want more of us, please go follow us on social medias at Bakacopodcast, wherever you get your social media feeds. Again, we'll be back next week with a brand new episode. So until next time, Spark Triumph. We'll see you then.